3 weeks ago, I posted a 1,000 mile update on my RAM RHO. And at the time, I was absolutely loving the truck. It was fantastic. The good outweighed the bads and the ugly and whatnot. And now my truck has become a decorative piece in the shop. The news is the electronic gear shift assembly failed. The good news is there's not a lot of good news besides it just looks good with the new wrap. But we don't know exactly what happened. The shop isn't entirely sure what happened. I'm not entirely sure what happened, and they haven't been able to give me an exact reason as why it went wrong, when it went wrong, and how to prevent it in the future. So, give you a little bit of context of what led up to this point. The 17th of February, I dropped off the truck to get PPF'd and wrapped and all that. Everything is great, okay? The 27th, when they had everything basically put back together and, we're finishing up, they started it up, they drove it up, reset all the sensors and everything, and it all seemed hunky-dory, right? Everything seemed good. Friday the 28th, when I went to go pay for the wrap and all of that stuff and pick it up, the truck would not turn over, the truck would not start, we couldn't even jump start. Now, before everybody starts typing away, oh, the wrap shop did something, no, and I can attest to that, and even the tow truck said the exact same thing, and the shop has said the exact same thing, because this wrap shop has done all of my vehicles in the past. They do hundreds of vehicles throughout the year, everything ranging from $1,000 to $500,000, and they have amazing customer service, and they are super reputable, and I'm not going to name them because I don't want to get them any flack or any hate that they don't deserve. They did not do anything wrong. The shop ruled that out. The tow truck that came and did the diagnosis to, then say it was still under warranty and all that, they also ruled that out as well, that it was not the shop's fault or the wrap that caused this issue. Reason being is my RHO is not the first on the road. There are tons of other RHOs. Well, there's a few other RHOs out on the road, some that have already been paint matched, some that have had full body wraps done to them, like mine, and they're completely fine. So they know that for a fact. What we don't know is what happened from February 27th to February 28th. Now, the truck was on a battery tender the entire time. And on Thursday, the February 27th, the truck had full charge battery from what the shop was able to tell me, the wrap shop was able to tell me. But somehow, in between that 24-hour time period, while still on a battery tender, the truck lost 10 volts worth of battery. So it dropped all the way down to 2.5, 3 volts or something like that, and would not even start up to the point of the lights or the dash coming on. It was that dead. The tow truck came, that was ordered by Stellantis, Chrysler, whatever you want to talk. They did their diagnosis, they did the run through and everything, and they were like, yeah, it's dead, we'll have to tow it to the shop and everything. If we don't tow it to the shop and you just try and replace the battery, which I originally was going to do because I thought it was just a battery issue, the warranty would be voided. And I thought no big deal of it at the time. I'm like, oh, it's just probably a dead battery. I had a similar issue with my GT500 where in the first 6 months of owning the GT500, the stock battery just went out on it and I replaced it through Ford and everything was good after that. So I was like, sure, let's just tow it to the shop. They'll replace my battery and we'll be good to go. Now, unfortunately on Friday, they didn't have the right tow truck, so they came back Saturday, picked it up, dropped it off, but it was after hours, and so I didn't hear anything back from the shop till Monday. Monday, they texted me later in the day and they said, hey, we swapped out the main battery and the auxiliary battery, and good news is the truck starts up, we're able to see lights, we're able to see dash, but it's not turning over, and it's not recognizing that it's in gear. Now, I've read a few things on forums, and so I kind of already knew where this was going, but I was crossing my fingers and hoping that it would just be a very small, minute issue where the computer had to be reset or something like that, and everything would be good and fine. That was not the case, though. They then went further into diagnosing the starter. They thought it was the starter was fine, and then that's where they got to realizing that it was the electronic gear shift assembly. So, like I said, they ruled that it was the electronic gear shift assembly, but we don't know what caused the truck to get that low voltage-wise. We haven't been able to determine the cause, we haven't been able to figure it out, which worries me because how am I supposed to prevent that in the future, and how am I supposed to prevent this from happening again? The dealership is still looking at it, trying to figure out what's going on, but they haven't been able to give me an answer. Now, there's 3 potential possibilities of what happened and how the voltage got that low, but may I remind you, it was on a battery tender that entire time, so I'm not sure, and I feel like all of these kind of get ruled out because none of them come into play. We didn't experience or notice any of these things, but I do want to let all of you be aware of the 3 potential possibilities of this happening and to be aware of your truck, just in case, this happens to you and what to expect. Yeah, So the three potential possibilities was one, the battery was too close. And for some reason on these RHOs and newer RAMs, from what I've heard, is if the battery's too close, it keeps pinging and reading to the truck and that drains the battery. However, the keys are locked in a lockbox that is lined with lead and further away than 25 feet from the truck. And so we feel like that one got ruled out. And like I said, it was plugged in the entire time on a battery tender, started up Thursday, but wouldn't start Friday. The second culprit that we're not entirely sure, but could be a possibility from what I've heard, is sometimes the sensors will not shut off. They won't fully shut off. And I've read this on forums that sometimes the front, rear, whatever kind of sensors, any of the sensors can continuously keep reading and pinging and whatnot, but you won't be notified of it unless it's like through the RAM app that you get notified of something, and that can drain the battery there too. Number three is it's just a bad battery, which I thought at the beginning that's probably what it was because I had a similar issue with my GT500 when I bought it brand new. 6 months in, I had to replace the stock battery in it. So I thought it's probably just a bad battery, which I experienced in my 500. But like I said, they replaced the main battery and the auxiliary battery, and it still did not fix the problem. And that is kind of what leads me into this customer experience part of the video. That's been very frustrating and probably the worst part so far of owning this truck. Now, the truck having issues in its first model year, like it is what it is. I knew that with like just in the last few years, it doesn't matter what car you get, but it always seems to be that the first model year of whatever car you get always seems to have problems, right? Aside from a few exceptions and whatnot. Not saying it's excusable, not saying it's acceptable, not trying to like brush it off or anything like that, but that's just kind of the reality of cars nowadays, right? And so I took a gamble knowing that and still being okay with that because the car is under warranty. And so I won't have to pay anything out of pocket. When they finally diagnosed the main issue with the truck and what part needed to be ordered, the shop told me the part's been ordered, but we don't have an ETA on it and it's saying back ordered in our data log system, whatever it's called. If you want the part quicker, if you want it to be expedited, you, the customer, have to call in yourself to the claims department and escalate the situation with a claims manager. I thought, well, that's kind of weird, but sure, I guess. I mean, it's a brand new truck. It's $80,000. I feel like that's something that you would do. Why would the customer need to do that? But c'est la vie. That's just is how it is. And so I did exactly that. So this week, Monday the 3rd, I call into the claims department, whatever it is. I explained my situation. I gave them the part number that the shop gave me. They gave me a case number and they said, great, we've put in notes here. Your case has been opened. It's been assigned to a claims escalation manager or something like that. You'll be getting and receiving a call later today and they'll explain the next steps and what goes on and what all you need to do in order to escalate or get the situation or, escalate the situation so your part can be expedited and you can get your truck back on the road. I was like, great, I'll wait for their call later today then. End of Monday rolls around, nothing. Tuesday rolls around, nothing. Wednesday rolls around, nothing. Thursday rolls around, nothing. Here we are at Friday the 7th and still nothing. So I called in earlier this day on Friday and said, hey, I was told that I was supposed to receive a call and never got anything. So can I please get an update or can I talk to somebody to, get any information on this? And they said, oh, that's interesting. In our notes here, we notified and wrote down that someone tried to contact you and email you and left a voicemail for you on Monday. And I said, really? That's crazy because I don't have anything, right? Okay, sorry, let me compose myself. I don't have anything. And they said, oh, well, that's funny. Let me see if I can go get the claims manager for you. And I was like, that would be great because a week's gone by and there is 0 updates on anything. So I called in around 10 a.m. today, Friday the 7th, and for them on the East Coast where they're located, their headquarters, it was around noon, lunchtime. So they said, your claims manager specialist is not available. They went out to lunch. They will call you after lunch at their earliest convenience or something like that. And I was like, cool, I'll just wait for them. Trying to be patient, trying to be understanding of this. And not to fault the customer service person, but there's only so much that they can do on their end, right? I used to work in customer service for a few different companies, and so there's only so much that they can do on their end. And so I was grateful, I was appreciative, and said, great, I'll be expecting their call later today. I was dealing with some clients at Luxland Storage, and I looked at my watch, and I was like, man, it's 4 o'clock, which means it's 6 o'clock their time, and they close at 7, and I haven't received a single call yet. So I picked up the phone and called them back again, And I got the exact same answer of, sorry, your claims specialist manager person is out for the week. They will contact you at the next available business day. And I got a little irritated right then and there, and I said, look, I was told somebody was supposed to call me. It's been a week since I've heard from anybody. Supposedly, they tried contacting me the day that they were originally supposed to first make contact with me and claimed they left me an email, voicemail, and phone call, and yet I don't have any of those. I don't have a voicemail, I don't have an email, I don't have a missed call from anybody. So either y'all have the wrong email or phone number, which I verified they had the right email and the right phone number, or you're just lying to me. Not you specifically, but that claims manager specialist right there. And so they said, look, there's not much that we can do. And like I said, I understand there's only so much that they can do on there. And they said, we'll make sure to escalate it. I'll make sure to put like a red flag, which is like high priority, high alert, whatever it may be. And somebody will reach out to you on Monday. So that's where we're at right now. I'm hoping to receive a call on Monday. I was able to get some helpful information from this lady. She did try and dive a little bit deeper into my case and help me out a little bit, which was very kind of her. And she said, I can't see much, but what I am able to see is that your case has been moving, right? And that your part has been ordered and that it's in the system and whatnot. And I have an ETA, but I don't have an exact ETA. The ETA went from no ETA and back ordered to mid-March, but there's not an exact time of when in mid-March. And we don't know if that's like expedited time frame or if that's a standard time frame. So I guess that's somewhat good news. Is like I at least know when my part's going to arrive at the latest, but still a little frustrating nonetheless. From what I've read on RAM RHO forums, and that's kind of another thing that I want to talk about real quickly, is I don't think it's just RAM, right? I know a lot of people in the comments are probably been like, you should have bought a Ford, right? Cool. I mean, I have thought about that once or twice this week, but I've had a lot of people comment on the posts that I've been posting on RAM forums to, update my ownership with the RAM so far, because there's a lot of people in these forums that are considering these vehicles. For some of you watching this video, you're probably considering purchasing a RAM RHO, and this video might help you decide whether or not you purchase a RAM RHO. And so by providing these updates, I've had a lot of people comment back that they either are having no issues whatsoever on their RAM RHO. I had one person say, I've got 19,000 miles and counting and 0 issues. And I have other people like me that are like, I got 7 miles on mine and I haven't been able to drive it yet. On that note, however, there are also a lot of people that have commented saying, I swapped from a Ford Raptor to an RHO because I was having so many issues with my Raptor. Or I had three TRXs prior to me purchasing a Raptor and went back to a TRX and now an RHO because I had so many issues with my Ford Raptor, right? And I'm only comparing the Ford Raptor because that's the direct competitor. That's like the two options that you're picking between if you're in this kind of market, right? Is the Ford Raptor or the RAM RHO or TRX or Raptor R, whatever your spending budget is, right? But what I'm trying to say is like I said, it's not acceptable, it's not excusable. I'm not trying to like brush it off like it's nothing, but I don't think it's specifically a RAM RHO issue. It just seems recently that manufacturers are just pushing these cars out left and right as quickly as they possibly can to get them to market and whatnot. And the reliability test, I don't know if they like just don't do them anymore, or they don't do it enough to really make sure that the product that they're putting out is going to be reliable and good. I don't know. I don't have the answers or anything like that, but I've seen it go both ways in the way that some RHOs are completely bulletproof and flawless and everyone's hunky-dory and people don't have problems with them. And I've seen it go the other way where, like me, I have issues left and right here and there. Some are minor, some are major, right? And same thing with Ford. Some people, like one guy commented, he's like, I bought a Ford Raptor, brand new 2024, 0 miles. I sold it with less than 3,000 miles on it because it was in the shop 90% of the time that I owned it and couldn't drive it. And other people that have 80,000 miles on the Raptor and nothing's wrong. Just seems kind of like a coin toss, so, which sucks. So, almost 2,000 miles in, and this is the update review video on the RAM RHO. It's not exactly the update that I wanted to make, but it is the update that I'm gonna be providing all of you because I said I would do that. So if this video helped you in any way, shape, and form in deciding on an RHO or not, or you just enjoyed this content, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment, as it greatly supports me and helps me and pushes out the video to other people as well that are maybe looking for this type of content and helping them decide whether to get an RHO or not. I still love my RHO. I'm still gonna keep it because it's still under warranty. I love driving it for the time that I had it. Other people really enjoyed it too and thought it was really great. Even coming from my fellow friend who owns a Raptor, not a fellow RHO guy, but he was pretty impressed with it and thought it was great. So once I get it back, we're really excited to do some direct Raptor versus RHO comparison videos with towing, off-roading, daily driving, all that aspect. So stay tuned for that. I have a new exhaust in for the GT500, which I'm really excited to get on and do maybe a very small video on that. Maybe I just do a short instead. And the Street Fighter, I know a lot of you have been asking about that. It is almost done. I just got the last few parts today. I'm still waiting on a few parts to arrive, but I'll put those on when they arrive. And the build series will be complete. I'll be able to showcase it to all of you. And weather is starting to get a little bit warmer, so hopefully I'll be able to start riding around and do some motovlogging because I really enjoy doing those videos. So, like I said, if you enjoy this content or excited for the content that I just shared, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment, and we'll see you all in the next one. Make sure to live life on the edge, but stay safe at the exact same time.